All right, hey, welcome to another version of On the Rise. I'm Lauren Plant, Kyle Bogey here. We like to do this during the week just to kind of get you updated on what's going on, breaking news, some stuff that's just happened, just something to keep you occupied during your week before we get to the big weekend. And of course, the big news that hit just a couple of days ago, and we're waiting for the big announcement on Friday. We know that the fine guard from U of D Jesuit, Cassius Winston, has made his decision.
Yeah, he certainly has, and I think it would be incredibly surprising if it were anyone other than Michigan State. I know Stanford and Pitt are in there, but as soon as Michigan kind of got eliminated in that sense, I always thought that he would be a guy that would stay in state, that would be with one of those programs. It was Michigan, Michigan State neck and neck. Now that Michigan is bowed out, I think it has to be Michigan State. And you know, the Spartans are putting together an excellent 2016 class. You talk about a five-star guard, swing guy, and Josh Langford coming up and joining him. And I mean, you add Cassius Winston to that class, you add on top of that the 2015 class, the guys that are going to be freshmen this fall up in East Lansing. Tom Izzo's trying to set himself up for another national title, and with guys like this and his track record, they're certainly going to have a chance to do that. I mean, you look at last year's team and the run that they were able to make with very little talent. Now you get a couple of years of really, really good talent coming in. I like the pickup, and I like Cassius Winston coming in, being able to be a leader and not always being, relied upon to score all the time. I think he's a better distributor than he is scorer.
We think of guards who have come through the Southeast Michigan way and played for Michigan State. Kalen Lucas comes to mind. Of course, Keith Appling comes to mind. Maybe not a true point guard, but that's kind of what he had to do. Where do you think Cassius Winston falls in terms of upside compared to those two?
Well, it's interesting because Cassius has been playing with the varsity since his freshman year, and you looked at him and you were like, he's a freshman. He doesn't have the head of a freshman. He doesn't get nervous. He handles things really well. He's a very mature point guard. So from that standpoint, I think he goes in right away and he's able to contribute. Now, is he going to start right away? That'll be something that we see moving forward. But I think he's going to be a kid that can play 3-4 years in college and be a big-time contributor for that Michigan State team.
All right, the former Flint native, now finishing his high school career in West Virginia, right? Playing a little prep basketball. Miles Bridges, who is also a guard, consensus top 15, I think people would say, talking about recruiting throughout the state, narrowed his list to 3 schools, including one just about an hour and 15 minutes from here.
Yeah, ironic, isn't it? Indiana, Kentucky also on that list, but Michigan State, again, putting themselves in position to have a monster 2016 recruiting class. Bridges, you say he's a guard. I think he's going to be a small forward, maybe even a stretch 4, when it comes down to it. I think he's similar, and I don't want to put too much on him, I think he's similar to Draymond Green in that sense. He's kind of a tweener. He can do a lot of different things. He's got to improve his ball handling, passing ability. He can't really shoot from deep outside yet. So that'll be something that'll come as we move forward. But either way, number 11 player in the country according to Scout.com's rankings. I think Cassius is very close as well. He'll decide on October 3rd. Again, another situation where I will be shocked if he doesn't go to Michigan State. So, man, Spartans really putting together quite the lineup in that class.
They're building it. All right, let's go to the football field. Saginaw Arthur Hill defensive end Lawrence Gordon has decided Division II football is the best place for him.
Yeah, he commits to Ferris State. And this is a kid, 6'5", 233 pounds. He looks the part. I mean, he looks like a guy who can play major Division I football, and he entered the camp circuit very early as just a freshman in those non-padded situations. It looked like he was going to be a guy that maybe would be highly recruited, especially by a lot of Division I schools. Didn't necessarily happen, and he commits to Ferris State. We'll see, of course, as we move forward. He is, a senior now, so maybe some schools will come on him late. But either way, a nice pickup and a kid who, he got involved in the recruiting process early, got out and got noticed at camps. But you know what? Sometimes Ferris State or a lower school ends up being the best opportunity, and that's what it is for him.
Yeah, go play for Tony Anise, and I think he would definitely qualify Mr. Gordon as he's competing for best hair.
He's got a lot of hair.
He's got a lot of hair. It's big. All right. Staying in football, we'll finish up here talking about the sheer number of recruits that were on display and on hand, both in Ann Arbor and in East Lansing last weekend. Talk about, again, the volume that was there, and also the ripple effect that will come from being at those contests.
I mean, Michigan State, of course, hosting Oregon, the big one. I mean, that was, everyone wanted to say that was the varsity game, of the weekend, and it really was. It lived up to that, and especially you look at the list of recruits, there were a lot more nationally ranked, higher rated kids, maybe, if you want to say that were on their campus. A couple of guys that I want to focus on locally, though, 2 teammates from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, KJ Hamler and also Josh Ross, linebacker. James Ross, of course, Josh's older brother up at Michigan right now, but he's given Michigan State a look. He's given Notre Dame a look, some of those other schools. Big to get him on campus. Hamler, great playmaker. I think he would be a nice contributor in that Michigan State offense too. At Michigan, you know, of course, they played host to Oregon State. Not a whole lot of pomp and circumstance.
But
with that
still,
one.
being in the big house.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's first game at Michigan, absolutely, is a big deal. A couple of Cass Tech teammates, they made the trek up to Michigan. Jalen Kelly-Powell and also Donovan Peoples-Jones, two guys, you know, on either side of the ball to really watch moving forward. They did have, you know, some national flavor, some, you know, bigger guys on campus as well, but we'll keep it local.
Well, and what's cool about that also, they get to see a guy, Delano Hill, who played, of course, at
Jordan Lewis, although he got hurt, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, but again, you know, that they're trying to continue that pipeline.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Cass Tech, look at what Malik McDowell is doing at Michigan State, so.
That fourth down play.
It's crazy. So, anyway, lots of stuff going on, and we're going to keep you updated each and every week. He's Kyle Bogey. I'm Lauren Plant. We'll see you next time on the Rise.